Hello everyone, today I will present to you my research paper in the title, The Relationship Between Culture Shock and Ethnocentrism Among International Students in Thailand. So let's check this out. This is my research content, introduction, and research question, methodology, review literature, findings, discussion, and conclusion. Through what I found in the internet about my research paper, which is the topic is related to ethnocentrism and culture shock, according to research in 2020 say, by the high ethnocentrism levels, people, especially medical students in Iraqi, have less willing to communicate or interact with other people, especially those who are different from their cultural background. Another research say academic and social aspect of culture shock in Thailand was two dominant fields that students took a lot of effort to adapt and overcome this. So when we can say overcome something that bring the negative effect to them, right? So when people move from their own culture to another culture, they need to adapt to it. There is some similarity and differences, and these differences bring the challenges for them, so they need to overcome it. So by the knowledge and information background, I come to form my research hypothesis, which is there any connection or relationship between culture shock and ethnocentrism? Three research questions in my research is, the first one, what are the students' perception about culture shock and ethnocentrism? Number two, how are male different from females in terms of these two variables? And number three, what is the relationship between culture shock and ethnocentrism among the international students who study overseas? By understanding this relationship, my research is benefit for administration, teacher, parents, and also the student who can see the real experiences of students about these two variables. From that, they can make the improvement and suggestion for students to have the better experiences when they study overseas. So this is my methodology. The research is quantitative using the descriptive cross-sectional survey design, and there are 50 international college students participating in my research. The question is, what is the culture shock? There are so many definitions about this term, but one of the definitions, 2017, some of us say, culture shock is the adaptation process of people when they try to adjust to a new cultural environment. Okay, one people moving, from one culture to other culture, they will take time to adapt to this. Like what I mentioned before, there's difference and similarity between their own culture practice and other culture. And another research, 2017, say culture shock is a dynamics of context or society and how the individuals deal with the challenges and difficulties they have to face in a new environment. Besides that, talking about the ethnocentrism, the definition of this 2001 say, ethnocentrism is the perception of those who believe their culture ethno is a centrism to the universe. They think that their culture is better than other culture. Of course, when we have cultural background, right, we're proud of their culture. We're proud of our culture. And another research, according to Campbell 2016, say the ethnocentrism was carefully noticed as bringing the negative influence to the international students, okay, negative influence or influences towards their experience. So after I collect the data and do the data analysis by t-test, mean, standard deviation, and correlation, I found the results to answer my three research questions. The first one, this table shows the mean and standard deviation. You can see here from number 1, level 1 is the strongly disagree, into number 5 is the strongly agree. Okay, strongly disagree to the strongly agree. Ethnocentrism level response show that 3.16, which in the middle is the neutral response. ethnocentrism affects to students, but it's not really high and also it's not really low. It's in the middle, the neutral point. The same thing that happened to culture shock also. The mean point is 2.69, neutral response. For the research question number 2, t-tests were used to assess the differences between male and females in terms of ethnocentrism level, and the results show that there is no differences. There's no difference. Whether you are male or female, your experience about these two variables is the same. Research question number 3. This scatter plot shows the relationship between these two variables. From the bottom to top, increasing is the culture shock level. From the left to right, increasing is the ethnocentrism level. And what I found is that ethnocentrism and culture shock have the weak positive relationship. When we increase the ethnocentrism level, the culture shock experiences increasing as well. You can see this is not the straight line, it's the zigzag, and it's increasing. So once again, it's the weak positive relationship. The same thing true for decreasing. One variable decrease, another variable also decrease. So through my findings, I come to compare with my research and other research. What I found is that international student was not really affected by ethnocentrism. However, this is the construct with the research before that. Ethnocentrism influenced negative to the communication willingness according to NAMI 2020. Another the contract is that I found no difference between male and female in terms of gender and experience about culture shock and ethnocentrism. However, this is the contrast to Erdogan and Okumasla 2020 say ethnocentrism were different based on their gender and nationality. Last one, I found the weak relationship. So from this weak positive relationship, we can list some suggestion or recommendation for students who study overseas. The first one is we can provide the support in both academic and daily issue for students, okay, so that they can overcome their negative experience. Another one is that educators and caregivers can reduce the negative experience by educating and training students, reducing their own ethnocentrism level. So culture shock negative aspects also decreasing. Okay, we decrease ethnocentrism, culture shock also decrease. And another one is that early education is very necessary to control the ethnocentrism perception of students, because when they were young, their perception about culture, which is ethnocentrism, can be increased or decreased. So we can help them to lower their perception about ethnocentrism. From that, we can decrease the culture shock negative experience for students as well. So this is my own research question. These are references. Thank you for listening.